I love the Lord of the Rings books and the films. There are masterpieces, in my opinion. The storytelling is just fantastic, and there have been a lot of changes from book to film. Here are my top 10 most major changes. Without further ado, here we go. Number 10. In the books, 17 years pass before Gandalf sends Frodo on his journey. In the movies, it feels almost like few months, but in the books, Gandalf takes off after Bilbo's 111th birthday party for 17 years. It's a long time, and the entire Hunt for Gollum film, the new upcoming film that's coming out in 2027, is going to take place during this time when Gandalf leaves Frodo and he gives the ring to Frodo and he tells him to keep the ring secret, to keep it safe. And this is a minor change because I think this was mostly for the pacing issues in the movies. Movies are different mediums than the books. In the books, you can take as much time as you want to tell a story, but in the movies, it happens really quick, and I don't mind the change, honestly. My number 9 change is the Shards of Narsil. In the book, Aragorn already has the Sword of Elendil when he meets Frodo at Bree, and that is because book Aragorn and movie Aragorn are very different. In the movies, he actually is fearful of taking the role of King of Gondor. He isn't sure of himself. He's scared that he's gonna fail and turn into Isildur. But in the books, he's already accepted his role and he has the sword already. And I think that both versions of the character make sense for the medium that they're in. Movie Aragorn is probably my favorite version of Aragorn. I love Viggo Mortensen's portrayal, and I also really enjoyed the scene with him and Elrond in Return of the King. I think it's one of my favorite scenes of the entire film. Number 8 is Faramir's character is altered. Especially in the Two Towers, Faramir's character is pretty different than he is in the books. In the books, he is not tempted by the ring, and he doesn't take Frodo and Sam to Osgiliath. And I am okay with this change because they needed a climax for Frodo and Sam in the Two Towers, and they decided it was going to be Faramir. And I think that it works fine because Faramir actually rejects the ring at the end. He isn't corrupted. Like, if he was actually corrupted by the ring, then I think and I would have been upset. But he renounces the darkness and he sends Frodo and Sam on their quest at the end of the movie. I'm fine with the change. I prefer book Faramir over movie Faramir, but I love the character still, and I think that the actor portrays him really well. Number 7 is the Army of the Dead at Pelennor Fields. In the book, Aragorn summons the Army of the Dead to attack the ships of Corsair, the pirate ships, and that's it. They don't go at Minas Tirith to defeat Sauron's army, and I don't mind this change in the movies because I know Peter Jackson needed a quick way to get rid of the entire Orc army to advance to the climax of the story. I understand it. I prefer the book version, I think, of the Army of the Dead, but I still think they're badass in the films as well. Number 6 is Glorfindel replaced by Arwen. In the book, Glorfindel actually goes in to save Frodo when he's stabbed at Weathertop by the Nazgul, and I don't mind Glorfindel. I like his character, but I think that this change was actually a good change because Glorfindel doesn't really come back into the story at all, and Arwen needed to be developed here. I think that they developed Arwen really well, and I like what they did with her character. I wouldn't have been upset they chose Glorfindel, but at the same time, I don't miss Glorfindel in this scene. Number 5 is Tom Bombadil. Tom Bombadil is a character that a lot of book fans love, and I like Tom Bombadil, but I don't think that he worked for the movie adaptations. He worked well in the books, and Like I said, you can put stuff in books that don't really work in movies. That's why they're called adaptations. And I think that Tom Bombadil sort of halts the Lord of the Rings books. He is a bit out of place. And I like everything that happens with him, and I like that he easily renounces the ring, doesn't corrupt Tom Bombadil, and we don't really know what he is. Yeah, Tom Bombadil I like in the books, but I don't think that he would have worked in the visual medium. He's also omitted in Ralph Bakshi's version, in the 1970s version of The Lord of the Rings. Number 4 is Elves Arrive at Helm's Deep. In the books, the battle is fought by the Rohan army only, and I think there are more soldiers at Helm's Deep than they are in the films. And they are aided by Gandalf's reinforcements by the end of the book. But in the movies, they are aided by the elves as well. And I like this change because it sort of shows all of the races of Middle Earth actually working together against this one evil, and I think that it works. I like seeing the elves at the battle. I'm glad that they didn't include Arwen in the war. I think that would have been a mistake. I just love that battle of Helm's Deep. Number 3 is Arwen's expanded role. There's a lot of changes made to the Arwen character because in the book she's barely present, and in the movies it's different. We have this sort of love triangle between Arwen, Aragorn, and Eowyn. I think that they did a good job expanding Arwen's role here. I like learning more about her in the movies. In the book, she's barely present, like I said, and she is kind of an important character. And I like that they did her justice in the films. I love Liv Tyler's performance of Arwen, and I think that they picked the right actor for the role. Number 2 is Saruman's fate. Saruman's fate is very different in the books and in the films. In the films, we don't even see how he dies in the theatrical editions, which sucks. I don't like that at all. I think that his death is important. We need a resolution to Saruman's arc, and we get that in the extended version, which is like one of my favorite scenes in the entire thing. And even his death is different because his death happens nearer the end of the final book in the Shire, and he is killed by Grima and by some archers. And in the films, he's killed by Grima here too, but at the top of Orthanc, and then he just falls down on this like spike and he dies. Really am glad that we actually see his death because it's really important. The number one story change from book to film is the scoring of the Shire. It's an entire chapter that was omitted from the films, and I think it was omitted for a good reason. I don't mind that Peter Jackson took this out of the story because I think that the scoring of the Shire works for the books, but would actually slow the movie down, and the endings of Return of the King are already too long by some people's standards. And if he had added like the entire scoring of the Shire, it would have been a never-ending story. And I'm glad that he didn't include it, but they just go back to the Shire, and the Shire is still there. It is just like the way they left it, and I'm fine with that. I think it's a satisfying ending. And so there you have it. Those are the top 10 changes from book to film. I love these books. I love these movies equally. I don't have a preference. Let me know what you think is the most major change in the Lord of the Rings movies. Let me know what yours are down in the comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.